Hey guys, it's MaizeMan112 bringing you guys the first ever episode of Mondays with MaizeMan, where I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions that you guys have, whether or not it's about me or questions that you guys have about life in general. So let's go ahead and get started. Just to go ahead and start off right now, this is actually the first game I played after Prestiging. We're playing a little bit of the multi-team. I don't know if you guys have played that at all or not. It's actually a pretty interesting game mode. I wish there was 4 teams rather than 3, but this is pretty good gameplay. I go 50-5, but like I said, it's the first match after Prestiging, so I'm kind of stuck with everything stock. But let's go ahead and jump into the questions, and the first one I'm going to go ahead and briefly go over some of these short questions. Just to let you guys know, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to put your guys' names up at all on any of the questions you guys have. That way you guys have complete anonymity, and you don't have to worry about whether or not people are going to know if, you know, the questions you asked, whether or not you thought it was stupid or something like that, or it's a very personal question. So the first question I'm going to go ahead and answer is the PlayStation 3 versus Xbox debate. A lot of you guys are asking which one I prefer and which one I play on. If you guys have noticed, I do play on an Xbox exclusively, really. I do not have a PlayStation 3, and there's a couple reasons for that. When I first decided I was going to get, you know, the newer generation of your gaming consoles, all my friends were already on Xboxes, so it didn't make a lot of sense for me at that point in time to get a PlayStation 3. But my favorite game at that point in time was actually God of War, and God of War, as you guys know, is a PS3 exclusive game. So it really, I wanted to get a PlayStation 3 and started off on the PlayStation 3 camp, but I also want to play, you know, with my friends, and all my friends had Xboxes, so that's what I decided to do. And a lot of people will ask me which one is a superior console, which console, you know, should they suggest they buy for, you know, their son or anything like that, or which console should they buy personally. And my response to them is always the same. And I personally believe that you get whatever one your friends play. If your friends are not a Xbox guy, they're PlayStation 3 people, you should go ahead and make sure you get that one, because you're going to get the most enjoyment out of it by playing with your friends. So that's the #1 concern right there. Moving on to the next question. Next question is going to be, where am I from? A lot of people are asking me this. I am from the U.S. I am from a Midwest state. I'll tell you, I'm from Michigan. I won't tell you exactly where I'm from because it's kind of a small, you know, little town. Most of you guys won't get this. Just remember that I'm from the mitten in the U.S. And that's really it. The third question I'm going to go ahead and answer is about zombies. A lot of people have been asking me what I think about this new zombie formation they have with the, you know, the having the grief mode and stuff like that. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really haven't been playing a lot of the grief mode. It just isn't something I've been looking for. If I wanted to play against, you know, other non-computer generated people, I would just go ahead and play the multiplayer. I guess I really don't see the point going in and playing the zombies. But then again, I haven't played this, and I know some people who absolutely love zombies, and this is the only reason why they bought the game was for zombies. But moving on to the other game modes they have, I really love what they did with Transit. As you guys know, Transit is a map that has multiple maps within the map. You know, you start out kind of in this little bus station, and you kind of move on from there to, you know, like a little diner and stuff like that, and you go to a farm, and all along the way you're grabbing more parts to build them to give you more access to further parts of the map. You know, you could be building a wind turbine and stuff like that, a zombie blocker, and things like that. And I find that very interesting. It's kind of almost like these little hidden Easter eggs that they have in it. And it really gets your whole team to play as a team rather than a bunch of lone wolves kind of running around just taking care of the zombies. The downside to this, having these multiple maps inside of one map, is that it's very difficult to run what Syndicate would call the rape train. Basically, you would get a big loop, and you would run this loop, and you'd get multiple zombies behind you, and what you would do is kind of line them up, you know, and have an LMG or something like that, and just kind of, you know, get a bunch of headshots and mow them down that way. And that really was the trick to the game, and trick to lasting through these long levels, was to do something like that. And this really has taken this away, because the maps are smaller. The sections of the maps are smaller than they used to be, or smaller than we're accustomed to seeing, so it's kind of, you know, a little bit difficult to run that full type of rape train on it like that. But so far, I really like the changes they made with the zombies. I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do with the new maps and stuff like that, and what else they can kind of evolve into, and what other things new they can bring to the table because of having this new multiplayer engine component to it. It really opens the possibilities for them. So I'm going to be interested to see what they have down the line. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and talk about is what kind of setup do I use? A lot of you guys want to know what kind of capture software I use and what kind of edit or software I use to edit the videos. For capturing the videos, I just use an Elgato. I actually got this a couple months ago. It's extremely easy. I did a little bit of a video review on it for you guys. It does have some downsides, such as live streaming capabilities, along with capabilities for recording your voice and stuff like that. That's one good thing about HD PVR. It's a little bit easier to record your personal voice. You can still record the other people in the match, you know, in your party or that are talking. You can hear their voice just fine if you play through the speakers, but it's still kind of hard to capture your own. Besides that, I'm just using a laptop that I got in college. So this is probably a 6 or 7 year old laptop. Nothing, you know, special right here. And I do use Sony Vegas. I first started out using Windows Movie Maker Live or something like that. But Sony Vegas just allows you to do so much more. You couldn't do any kind of color correction or anything like that with the Movie Maker. You couldn't put, you know, more than one video over top of it or anything like that. All you can basically do is record your video, put audio over it, which is very basic. But I mean, when you first start out, that's really all that you really need. So that's basically what I use. And I do for a microphone, I have a Blue Snowball. I actually been thinking about upgrading a microphone maybe to a Blue Yeti or something like that. But I'm not too sure at this point in time. The Blue Snowball is just a kind of a plug and play. So it does have that little bit of a latency that if you guys are kind of audiophiles, you know what I'm talking about. Where anything that you plug into a USB is not going to have the response time as something that actually goes into a mixture or component. The last question I'm going to go ahead and talk about is something that a lot of you guys asked. I mean, like 6 or 7 of you guys sent this to me in my inbox, and it's going to be how to get a girl to sleep with you, or your girlfriend, your friend, so-and-so, to go that extra step. And first, I just want to go ahead and say I'm going to assume that you guys are all consensual adults, and that you've taken all precautions to this point in time to make sure that this experience is pleasurable for both parties, and that, you know, no one involved is going to be hurt in the long run. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you personally are ready. A lot of guys think, you know, when you're in high school, this is the one thing I want to do before I die. I know I always said that was, I don't care if I die tomorrow, but I need to get laid first. That's the end point of it. My life will be complete once that happens. But that's not true. So just make sure that you personally are ready. And you're not doing it because, you know, the guys at school are doing it, or you think it's going to make you more of a man or anything like that. Just make sure that you're comfortable with yourself. Alright, but assuming that you are comfortable with yourself, and we just need to get her on board with it now. One thing I'm going to tell you guys is make sure you don't rush it. I know you're going to hear that a lot and everything like that, but you need, in order for this to happen and for all parties involved to be happy with the outcome, you need to make sure that this is on her terms. It's that simple. That she's going to be the one, you know, taking the initiative. She's going to be the one controlling the pace of the relationship. And by doing that, I mean, a guy, the male psyche is always ready. I mean, it's almost like they come out of the womb and they know what to do. They're ready. The female psyche, you know, this is a huge thing for them. You know, they really can't go back after this point in time. And females also get the double standard on them, where if a guy sleeps with a lot of girls, he is, you know, a player, he's, you know, a baller, he is an idol. If a girl sleeps with a lot of guys, she's a whore. So it's a whole lot different for the female going through something like this. But with that being said, you want to make sure that she's comfortable and that it's on her terms, and you're just going to do everything to make her as comfortable as possible, knowing that, you know, I'm in no rush. And that's the huge part, that you're not rushing her, that you're not begging for it or anything like that. You want her to go ahead and feel like, yeah, he is the one. He's not even worried about this. He just likes me for me. And you know, it's that simple. So what you're going to do is, you know, take her out to dinner and everything like that, and don't even try to make a move for a little bit. Let her know that I'm just here because I think you're a cool chick. And, you know, that eventually will turn into, you know, some makeout sessions and stuff like that. And still don't press the issue. Let her press the issue, and then when that time comes, when you guys are both parties are ready for the actual action, there's a couple things you need to do. One, like I said, make sure you have protection. You're taking a lot of risk here for a small amount of pleasure. I know it seems like the world at the time, but, you know, ask some of these people who are having children at 15, 16 years old. It's definitely a life-changing moment. But once you've done that, make sure you guys have time. Don't be trying to do something like this when, you know, the parents went to the grocery store or something like that. Make sure you guys have the parents are out of town or something like that, or you have more than a couple hours to yourself to go at your own pace. And, you know, make sure that you're not rushed through the whole thing, because nothing would be worse than, you know, getting almost there and you hear the at the door and there's her parents. That would definitely be a buzzkill. But like I said, just to go ahead and summarize it, make sure it's on her terms, make sure you're not being pushy, and just let her know that, you know, baby, you're the one. That's going to go ahead and wrap up this Mondays with MaizeMan. Make sure if you guys have any other comments or questions you guys want to show in next episode, make sure you leave it in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.